let me put first that I'm not a technical expert, apart from most of you, so please excuse if some of my explanations are not that technical as you would expect. I'm from the company Koch, and we're just about to found a new spin-off company called Daedalus, so it's brand new what you're hearing and seeing today. And I'm looking at the impact of IoT and Industry 4.0 from a business perspective, meaning what impact does IoT and the general availability of new technologies, the trend, also the presence in the media have on businesses, on long-established companies, as well as on startups springing out of great ideas every day. IoT and Industry 4.0 are buzzwords, as we know, and of course you know the Gartner trend life cycle, saying that with IoT and Industry 4.0 and so on, M2M and what else, we are still in the phase of exaggerated expectations on the trend. But companies and even governments, also in Austria and Germany, have understood that the trend is not going away. Maybe it's decreasing sooner or later, but it's going to stay. It's going to have a massive impact on businesses and companies. Even long-established companies have to deal with it and find solutions to new disruptive models being made possible only via these new technologies and trends and ideas. And as I'm not a technical expert, I would like to invite you today to ask a question together with me. First, let me put a focus on a certain area of Industry 4.0, which is smart logistics. Basically, smart automation is not new. Companies have automated, filled with intelligence, artificial intelligence, whatever they could, from robotics to ground transportation to human resource, whatever infrastructure they have within the company, they automated and they have attached some intelligence to it. But this was always limited to the company borders for several reasons. Security issues, the need for speed of communication, data communication, the lack of widespread protocols for communication, maybe even the paranoia that someone else within their supply chain and within their corporation network could spy on them or whatever. But it's clear that the more you optimize a system, an enclosed system, the harder it will get over time to really find huge optimization opportunities with limited effort. Of course, you can put huge efforts for little optimization, and this is increasing dramatically. So to explore and to leverage on the full potential of Industry 4.0, so I need to take attention not to mix it up with Industry 4.0. Companies and government in Germany has put that in a working paper as well, in a white paper as well. Companies need to take care of their supply chain, meaning their suppliers and supply chain to the distributors and to the customers as well, to really find some opportunities for optimization, opposing to limited effort to be put on in this. The increase of availability and the hype in the media on IoT and M2M and Industry 4.0 has led to a general availability of technologies, of an upspring of companies helping you to developing solutions for communication, for sensor readings, for visualization, and just as mechatronics is, for example. But this also means that companies need to allow suppliers on the one hand, and customers need to allow, on the other hand, for their manufacturers to gain insight on what they are doing, what they are needing, what's happening on premise here and here. During our research for our startup company and our product solution, we have found in the area of supply chain and smart logistics, two basic approaches to develop new solutions to customer demands or to disruptive models in that area. The one is that we have found a lot of proprietary developed solutions, which of course aim at customer retention and customer loyalty. Meaning, for example, if a manufacturer is developing a system to, let's stick to the example, to monitor the stock level of his customer, of the goods he has delivered, he doesn't want his customer to change suppliers all the time. He wants to find some means to make his customer loyal to himself as a supplier. Würth, for example, has developed a system where they took these small bins where you find screws or whatever, and they implemented a system with a photo camera where Würth would control permanently via the photo camera and the wiring the stock level of the customers. And of course, you can imagine that Würth will not allow the customers to use that system if the customer would say, system is great, but let me use it for another supplier. Right. The same for the entire supply chain. Supply chains, especially in smart logistics, are highly dynamical, meaning that not only for a contract of a year, but even for really short periods, from order to order changing, are the routes, for example, the hubs that are used, even for the same size of order, for the same direction, that the routes are changed, hubs are changed, subcontractors are changed in logistics, and so on. So it's hard for somebody who relies on a system from a supplier that is only serviced and available by a supplier to change that route dynamically for an optimization here, as well as for the other side towards supplier of raw materials. There are advantages at the same time, meaning that such a system has been developed at a very short period of time and is matching exactly to the need of the customer for exactly that application. And on the contrary, you will find products that are aimed at gaining fast penetration, fast market penetration with a product. For example, we have one here, it's a sensor tech. It has several sensors built in. It offers cell communication via the cell network. It is not that specialized on a certain application like we had from Würth for screws and other supplies parts, but it can be used by any manufacturer, by any end consumer, by any supplier. So even if you change your supplier, if you change your supply chain, your logistics company, and so on, you can still use these devices because they're open to use to everybody. So that's definitely an advantage. Disadvantages are that there is a huge amount of data, as we heard. It's billions and billions of data generated every day with that. Who owns the data? And how to make sure who is doing what with the data. If, for example, an end consumer is changing his supplier, or a manufacturer is changing his supply of raw materials, or the third-party logistics provider is changing, who owns the data that has been generated by the supplier that was in place before? And of course, who pays for the system? You can imagine that in that case of Würth is paying for deploying the system for you as a customer, because they want you to use it to create some kind of customer loyalty. In that case, who's paying for that system? Which way did we choose in developing our solution? We have taken focus on inventory monitoring, and first of all, to be very honest with you, we looked only at our own customers, and we thought, okay, that's a clever idea. We make such a solution to monitor inventory of our customers in terms of an inventory management system, because they will stay with us. They cannot change suppliers if they want to stick to the system that we deployed there. But then we found out that opportunities in the market are much wider, much huger, much more promising than just with our customers in our branch that we were working in. And we decided to take this on a higher level, on a wider perspective, and to open the system to be used by any supplier, by any manufacturer, by any logistics, third-party logistics provider, or by any end consumer. So yes, we saw the huge advantage of creating customer loyalty, but we saw the huge disadvantage at the same time that we would miss some huge opportunities in the market globally if we would just stick in our own branch, in our own market in Austria and so on. So that's our development from a business perspective. So we have seen both sides of the story, creating an idea and developing from the inside, being very fast to the market, but then at the same time being a bit constrained when choosing customers and when choosing suppliers and so on. And the question that I would ask you today is, if you could share your point of view. I mean, you have a very technical point of view, I assume. Would you say, is it an advantage to develop solutions to customer pain points from inside a company and stick to this as a customer, as a company solution, proprietary solution, and create some benefit for a single company? Or would you say it is much more worth creating solutions that are available to everybody with some risks on security, data availability, and so on? That's maybe the other way around, not asking questions to the speaker, but having me ask questions to you.
I think it depends on whom you are talking to. If you are talking to a company who is able to do some vendor walking with their customers, they will say, we would like to do it. But for the customers at the beginning, a reduced vendor walking is for sure better than vendor walking, which locks me to a specific provider, and whom I cannot change.
Sure, sure. But maybe let's emphasize the technical perspective. From a technical point of view, would you say, is it better to create a perfect solution for a single customer demand, be fast in the market, or take your time and create a solution from a technical perspective, a perfect solution to many branches, available for many branches, fitting for a variety of customers, a variety of needs?
Why do you want to have a perfect solution?
Why?
Why do you want to have a perfect solution?
Perfect for the customer need.
Good enough. It must be good enough.
Yeah,
it's good cheap enough.
It needs to solve the customer pain point. That's what I say.
80% of the customer pain points.
I think a standard solution can be better than a specific solution done by only one vendor, because you have scaling effects, and therefore you can put effort into the technology, put effort into security, and so on. For sure, there's big advantages in an open solution which can be used by everybody. But it needs the flexibility to address the needs of the end customers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your answer.
Thank you. And then I would like to continue with the next